Warning: strobe lights and other intense lighting may be used during the show.
Are you there? Oh, it's you. It's time to slay, time to slay. Stick around and I'll show you some things that I would recommend that you might want to put onto the Christmas list for some of your spooky friends. I'll be sharing my personal experience with foam props, zombie zappers, fog machine scents, contact lenses, battery operated fog machines, and even 4 veneer teeth. So let me go take off this crap. Stick around and we'll get started.
Hey Fright Man, it's a week after Halloween and a few weeks before Black Friday. Christmas is around the corner. I have somebody that really enjoys spooky stuff. Do you have any ideas what I might get them for Christmas? Said no one. But if I had somebody that did ask me that, I've got some recommendations for you. And I'm going to start off with what I have in my hand, which is this foam axe. So it's made out of foam, and I actually picked this guy up at Transworld 2025. Now everything that I talk about, I'm going to put some type of link in the description. If it is an Amazon link, I am an Amazon associate, which means I may or may not get a small little bitty piece of commission, but that doesn't change your price. So feel free to buy away and help out the channel. So these foam props, you can get them as an axe. You can get them as a baseball bat. You can get them as a sledgehammer. They come in a lot of different type of weapons or shapes, if you will, or weapon types. But they're made out of foam. Now, is this thing going to feel like a sponge when it hits you? No. It's solid, and I believe it has a piece of wire in it to kind of hold that shape. But they're really cool, very realistic. I mean, that looks like a real axe. The baseball bats look like real baseball bats. I paid $30 for this. So they're not overly expensive. They're really cool. They're fun at Halloween. They're fun if you work in a haunted house. And, okay, let me be the weirdo in the room. And they're fun just for decoration around the house. And that's all I got to say about foam props. I love these things. Now we're cruising right along right into the next item. Now this one's a little bit weird, I realize it, because it is a pair of scissors. And you go, a pair of scissors, what does that have to do with Halloween? That's a lot to do with Halloween. I am constantly cutting material, cutting tape, cutting poles, cutting pieces of wood, cutting. But the better part about this is I keep them in my garage. These scissors will cut anything. They cut my plants. This is a piece of wood, so it's basically like a popsicle stick. Like, boom, boom, boom. Doesn't think twice about cutting this. I've often said that these things will probably cut your finger off if you're not careful. And I say that kind of jokingly, but I wouldn't give it a try to find out because I think it actually could. These things are super sharp, very, very well made. They're not very expensive. You do get them on Amazon. So if you don't have a good set of high quality scissors, chop, chop, chop. This is your scissors. So let's talk fog scents. These little bottles are from Froggy's Fog. Now I purchased these at Transworld, but you can also get them online. This is a 1 ounce bottle. This is campfire, and this other one I believe is some kind of horrid mold. But I used the campfire at Halloween. And I'm not joking. I just pulled up in my yard not too terribly long ago from an errand. And when I got out of my car, my yard still smells like campfire. These things are strong. And there's a recommendation on how much of this to add to your Froggy's Fog Juice. Now, Froggy's, if you don't know, is the #1, or certainly way at the top, producer of fog fluids. And so you're adding this to your fog fluid so that when your fog comes out of your fog machine, it has this smell of what you choose. Now there's about 35, 40 different scents. I don't know off the top of my head, but it's a good number that I saw over at Transworld. These are pretty cheap. They're less than $20 a bottle. Anyway, so I did it according to the directions, and it was really too strong for me. Not only was I kind of not enjoying it, but the kids were gagging when they came up the driveway. So my recommendation would be, if you decided to use one of these scents, I would tell you to start using it sparingly. Do not use it what the bottle says to use it as far as the ratio, which is I think ½ an ounce to 2 gallons or something like that. Thin it out a little bit more than that, and then you can always make it stronger. But once you've made it too strong, it's hard to go back. So that's my only recommendation. I'd just say start off, add a little bit, see what you think. If you need to add more, add more. But these things go a lot longer, or let me rephrase that. You need to use less of this than what I expected, and I had originally made mine too strong. Throughout the night, I was able to go ahead and thin it out. But initially, woo, it was bad. So these are really cool. Now, I also want to point out, if you order something exotic like poo-poo or diarrhea or vomit or rotten meat, beware. Their smells, these scents are right on point. So whatever you order, you better be expecting to get exactly that, because that is what you're going to get. And this smell does linger. I have a friend that has a haunted house where he uses the rotten meat stench in, and you can go into his haunted house a month after it's closed down, and when you get to that particular room where he uses that scent, it smells like rotten meat. So Froggy's Fog scents, they're the bomb. So next we're going to talk about this fog machine. So this is my probably most recent fog machine that I have purchased. This is a battery operated fog machine. Now across the front of here it says Constronica, and I'll put a link to this. This I actually purchased off of Etsy. It's the battery that this uses. I've never seen this battery before. So it does not come with the battery, and it does not come with a battery charger. It is simply going to be your fog machine and then some other accessories if you want to get that. I'll talk about that in just a minute. Why am I telling you this? I'm also going to put a link to these batteries and this charger that I am using for this. And without those batteries, this thing is useless. Now, the second thing that you're going to be getting with this is fog juice. So their fog juice comes in a very small bottle like this. You can buy an ounce or 2 ounces or 4 ounces or whatever. So they have different sizes. And I did buy a larger bottle. But I think, if I recall right, this bottle comes with this base machine. So this fog machine, or this fog fluid, they say you should really be using their fog fluid. Now, because it comes in such a small bottle, it's not super expensive. But you can use regular fog fluid. Now, I wouldn't use an off-brand fog fluid. I actually put some Froggy's Fog in this just to try it out before I told you that it would work. It does work. And that Froggy's Fog is actually that scented Froggy's Fog that I have left over from Halloween. So it even is working with the scent. Now, the module that you actually fill up is right here when you're filling up the fog fluid. And it has a little visible, let me see if I can come over to the camera and actually show you this a little closer up. Let's see. Can we get this? Yeah, we can. So there is, basically, this is where our fog's going to come out. This is going to be our battery. Okay. And so fog's coming out here. This is where you're going to fill it up. So this actually unscrews here. So we can unscrew this. This is where your fog juice is going to go into. Now, you don't just pour it straight in. You do want to tilt this over to the side, and then you're going to drip that in. And actually, let me get that bottle, and I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about here. Not that you really need all these instructions, because all of this is going to come with the machine, but basically when you're putting in fluid, you're just kind of tilting it over to the side like this, and you're putting in your fluid this way. So you can see here, it's very hard to see with the camera right now, but you can see there's actually a window here to where you can see how you're doing with how much fog fluid is left and if it's full or not. So obviously there's a certain level high that you want to go. Now the next thing that I'm going to show you here, I'm going to go ahead and screw this back on. So this is going to be our output for the fog, right? So right here is where our fog is going to come out. Now they also sell different type of hoses. You can actually get this at Home Depot, so there's nothing fancy about the hose nor this type of connector. I also found silicone fish line hose on Amazon, and I'll put a link to that. Much better than this. So originally I thought I would stick with their hose. It's kind of rigid, but I like the fish line hose at silicone much better. It's much easier to work around. So I'm going to take that hose, I'm going to stick it right in there, Boom, that's it. Okay, so you can see that hose is in there good. Now when you want to take the hose out, you're just going to simply push down here and the hose comes out. Push it back in. When you push it back in, it is locked in there good. So that's that. So the next question is, how do you turn this guy on? Well, that's what this is for. This is a remote control. So A and B is all that we're going to be using. If you use the A, that just holds it, it's on. And you hit A again and it's off. B only fogs when you have the B button down. So that's the two options as far as on and off is concerned. Now the next thing that they have is a lot of options with lighting. So it's all optional, but there's actually a connection here. So if you can see here, there is a wire coming off of here where I have connected basically two LED lights. So I have bought an orange one and I have bought a blue one just to show you the difference. I think they have about 6 different colors on Etsy that you can buy, but you don't need the bulbs. That's totally optional. So there's the fog that's coming out of it, and we'll put that light up here. Like this. So if you kind of get farther away, like if you get it angled right, you can get a pretty decent looking, what looks like it's actually a flame going, like right there. Kind of have a flame going. So next question is, well, what were you going to do with this? Why did I buy this? Hell, I don't know. No, I'm just joking. But what I had planned to do is to make a scarecrow costume. And I got started on it, and then Halloween jumped up on me, and I got a bunch of offers to be able to film some haunted houses, which I was really excited about. And I just didn't get around to finishing this. But what my intention was, is I was going to put this inside of the shirt. Right, just kind of make a pocket that this can sit inside of. And then I was going to take the 2 hoses and I was going to feed them through the sleeves here, and using those orange lights, mount them to where they would be shooting out. So you'd have smoke coming out of both of these sleeves with that orange light. So it's basically going to be a scarecrow with kind of these smoking sleeves at the end, or smoking on the arm, kind of a fire effect. So anyway, that's the intent. I'll probably get back around to it soon now that things have kind of died down. But that's kind of where I'm going to go with it. I think it's a pretty cool costume edition. Now, a few other things to say, and then I will move on from this thing. First of all, if you're a haunt actor and you're thinking, wow, that would be so cool in the haunted house, I would use that in my costume. Probably not. And here's why I'm going to say that. From the perspective of those lights, when those lights are on for a little while, they get really hot. I mean, they get really hot. It's number one. Number two is its battery, right? So that battery, you got the fog machine, that's taking some of that battery. You start adding lights, that takes more of that battery. The battery, just if you leave the thing on, the battery itself does not last for a very long time. So I would say that if you're going to do something like this, you're going to want to use it in a situation where you have small spurts. So I think it would be perfect for, say, a costume contest where you're about to get up onto stage. If you're doing some photo shoots, it could be really cool in your costumes for photo shoots. There is another variant of their battery-operated fog machines that shoots out a blast as opposed to a light smoke like this. So if you're trying to do some type of blast effect, they also have some models like that. It's a cool product. Check it out on Etsy. Let's move on. Alright, so another great gift idea is these folks behind me. So we have Legend Werewolf, we have the Mutant, and we have Alira. So these two guys are from a company called Distortions Unlimited, which is in Colorado. They've been around for a long time. They are well known for making high quality props. These you can obtain at good prices. I'll put a link to their website down below. There's lots of other options besides the werewolf and the mutant. They make a lot of different things. They make animatronics out of my price range, but hey, if you go that far out and give that to somebody, think about me. I'll take one of these guys that is animatronic any day. Feel free to send me one. So if you think whoever you're giving the gift to would not be into the werewolf or not be into the mutant, they have other options as well. So check out their site, Distortions Unlimited. I'm going to put that in the description, or a link to them in the description. But they have other ones as well. Man, could you imagine, or let me rephrase that, could I imagine having a big old box on Christmas Day to open up and it turns out to be one of these? Feel free to send me any of the Distortions props that I don't have. I'll be happy to accept that. Now, this is a lira. Now, a lira comes to us from a company called VFX. And I believe it's VFX Creates. But again, we'll put one of those links down. A lira, she is a puppet. And she also has a vocal track that goes with her. Amazing. So now, a lira is also from a company, again, VFX, that is also well known for making a very high quality item. And again, just like these guys, they have lots of different puppets to choose from. There's maybe, gosh, I'm going to guess there's 20, 25 different puppets. There's light up eyes and different hair colors, so you have a lot of different options. So if you really want to go over the top and really make somebody's Christmas morning, consider one of these. And by the way, if you want to learn more about any of these three, check them out on the channel. I have a video on each one of these telling you more about them. So let's move on to this zombie zapper. It's the zombie zapper. So I'm not 100% that this actually starts off as a cattle prod, but that's what it seems to be. But it's safe. So you have these two bolts that look like they would shock you, right? Like, I guess that's how a cattle prod would be. I've never had a cattle prod in my hand before, but I'm assuming that's what it would be like. So it gives that illusion that it is, but all of the mechanism that does the sparking and the noise is actually down here in the body or inside of this clear plastic, this, what do you call this? Acrylic, I guess I'll call it. So it's all protected, so you don't have to worry about getting shocked or anything like that. Now this guy is rechargeable, so there is a battery that's down here, so you charge it up. The charge will last you probably a night, because you're not going to sit there and do it over and over and over again. So let me go ahead and turn him on. So when you turn him on, you're going to get a confirmation that it's on with some lighting that's happened here. There are different modes that you can do. There's a false mode where you push the button and it just lights up. There's another mode where it lights up and then it makes a noise. My preference is just to hit it and it makes the noise and it lights up, something like this. So that is what the zombie zapper does. Now, I use this on Halloween. Lots of haunted houses use this. So basically, you're just walking around something like this, and this is maybe your victim, okay? So they're just walking past you. They have no idea what's about to happen, and all of a sudden, you're gonna want one of those, or you're gonna want one of those. And I'm gonna tell you, you want to hear some screams, you want to see some runs, the zombie zapper is what will do it. So the only other thing that I'm gonna say is that they do come in different sizes. So this is the mid-size. There is a longer size, there is a shorter size. I personally kind of went with this mid-size because I thought it would be cool to be able to reach out a little bit further from people, because sometimes people are afraid to get too close to you. So if you get the smaller stick, which is about I think it's about 18 inches, so something like this, you have to be a lot closer to the person, and people don't always want you to be that close. So I personally thought it would be a good idea to be just a tad bit further out. From a price point, it's about mid-range of all the different things that I've showed you. Not as expensive as them, but not as cheap as, say, the contacts or the teeth that we're about to look at. Okay, so I have intentionally saved the contact lenses and the teeth and the mouth paint for last. So the name of these particular contacts is Wicked Eyes with a Z. Eyes. And if you're not familiar, when you go to Halloween conferences, there's tons of different manufacturers that make these. So I'm going to go ahead and link to these because these are the ones that I have purchased that I can tell you that I really like. You can get all kind of different eyes. So there are animal eyes, there's horror eyes. I'll put some up on the screen to kind of show you some from Wicked Eyes. But yeah, there's a lot of different choices that you have here. Now, what was interesting is when I was talking to them before I purchased these at the conference, I was telling them that I actually wear contact lenses, and I was wondering, could I put these on top of mine? Well, the answer to that is no. I tried, and it didn't work out too well. But they did tell me that they make their contacts, or some of them, not all of them, in a prescription option. So I said, great, let me go back to the hotel room. Let me get my prescription, because I wear daily, so I have the little packs. So I said, let me get my prescription so I can show you what it is, and that way I can order some in prescription. When I got back over there, they were like, oh, you wear pluses. I'm like, yeah. Well, they don't make the prescriptions in pluses. Don't ask me, can't tell you. but all other prescriptions are negative. So if you are a plus, you cannot get it in a prescription. If you are negative, you can. However, with all of that said, if I was going to buy this as a gift for somebody for Christmas, which would be a cool gift, I would probably not do it for somebody that already wears contacts. Maybe if they wear glasses, it would be fine. Or if they don't have any eye correction at all, it would be good. In other words, I wouldn't get them in a prescription as a gift. So I will put these in to show you what they look like. I have 4 or 5 different pairs. I don't see as good as I do with my natural contacts in because mine are not prescription. So I'm going to save that to the last, but I will put those in. I put in this pair to show you, but I'm going to move on to my teeth. So this year at Haunted Houses, I have noticed that a lot of the actors had these wonderful teeth. And I will go ahead and move up close to show you these teeth right here that I have. That is the upper. This is the lower teeth. Okay. So once I put these in, I'm not going to be able to talk very good. So I am going to save that for the end to go with the contact lenses. But here's the deal. These are on Amazon. Oh, and let me tell you, these are very inexpensive. I think I paid maybe $20 a set, so very, very inexpensive. These are mid-price. These are going to cost you about, for a good pair like these are going to cost you 40, 50 bucks, something like that. Now, these are not toys. This is from a company called Dental Distortions. Again, that's on Amazon. And they make a lot of different ones. So these are, I'm going to call them vampire-ish, right? Because you got these pointed teeth. If you paid attention to me at the beginning of the video, I did have them on. They're cool. Are they super comfortable? Not so much. Are they bothersome? Not really. But basically, they give you this little plastic bead, and the instructions talk about you heat this up, and you heat up the beads, and you put it together, and you squish it, and you cut it, and you mold it. And it just sounded like it was more trouble than it was worth. So I did a little bit of research. And I found that people were saying, use Polygrip, right? Which is what people use for dentures all the time. So I did try the Polygrip. It's a no-brainer. Use Polygrip, right? I didn't have to do all that melting and all that shaping. The Polygrip just did just fine. It was very easy. Put them on. They stayed on just fine. So that would be my recommendation. If you're going to get something like this for somebody, get them a tube of Polygrip as well. Maybe they'll like the beads that it comes with. Maybe they'll go ahead and try it that way. You know, who knows? But it never hurts to have a backup and tell them, hey, you heard from Frightman that Polygrip is a much easier way to go than doing all of that bead melting. Now, before I put in my dental distortions and put on my eyes for you, I'm going to talk about one more product. This is from Miron, and this is a teeth discoloring agent. So I use this at Halloween. Now, this is also very inexpensive. I think this is like 20 bucks. Super easy to use. It came in a nicotine, so a nasty yellow, which would be good for a zombie, say, for instance. This is a red, so I was kind of trying to give off these vampire vibes, and I had a little blood running down me. This worked amazing. It looked really, really nasty. And I even used some running down my skin here a little bit, and it stayed on all night. So I was very, very happy with this. I'll go ahead and put some of this on just to show you kind of what it looks like. And then we'll go ahead and put on the dental distortions for you and those contacts and wrap all of this up. So let me come over here and I'll show you what this looks like. So basically this Miron tooth discoloration product comes in a small bottle. Okay, so here we go. So now I could put this on heavier to make it darker. I could be putting it all over my mouth, over all of my teeth. But this is just for the demo. I just wanted to show you how easy it goes on, kind of what that effect looks like. Super easy to put on, brush your teeth, it comes right off. I like it and I highly recommend it for your horror friend for Christmas. What a great stocking stuffer. Okay folks, that moment that I promised you, we are going to go with these teeth and we are going to try the eyes to give you this final look. I am going to go ahead and put a little bit of Polygrip onto these teeth. Now, I am going to tell you, I am not going to put on the bottom row because it's not really necessary, A, to show you, to demo these, and B, when I do that, I'm not going to be able to talk to you. So I put the poly grip on here, and let's take a look.
Well, that looks horrible, doesn't it? As soon as you put these teeth in, the first thing you want to do is change your voice.
And I don't know why, but you just do. So I'll come back over here. And now we are going to go ahead and drop in those eyes, or the contacts. So let me go ahead and get these out. If you're squeamish and you don't want to see me take out my regular contacts and drop on the horror contacts, turn around for a minute. Regular contact number 1 is out. Horror contact number 1 is... Come on. Horror contact number 1 is... in that eyeball. Now the ones I'm using are kind of this lizard type of contact. It's kind of, or a cat. It's kind of got the, oh, I don't know what you want to call it. There's only a certain way it goes, right? It's kind of got the pointiness to it. I almost want to call it a diamond type shape. So they may not necessarily be exactly right. I may have to straighten them up. But let's go ahead and see what happens. Number 2. Okay, if you were squeamish and you turned around, you can come back around. The contacts are actually in my eyes now. I'm going to come up and let you get a closer look at the camera. I am also going to say that my hands were washed thoroughly before I did this, so don't feel like I just did that with dirty hands. I did not. I washed my hands before I put them in. So let me come up here, take a look, and let you see what these contacts look like with these teeth. Alright, I'm hoping that the camera is going to capture what these contacts look like on me for you.
I'm telling you, the more I put on, the harder it is not to talk funny.
Okay, my next recommendation is going to be the ultimate package for your horror fans, and that is going to be tickets to a convention. There are lots of horror conferences all over this country. There's multiples in Texas. I'm sure every state has some type. Some of the big ones are in Pennsylvania. There's a big one in Chicago. There's big ones in California. There's big ones in Texas. So they're all over the place. Imagine buying conference tickets, and if you really want to go overboard, get them that hotel room on site, get them that airplane ticket. Man, that will make somebody super happy to be able to go to one of these things. So yeah, who would not want to have conference tickets to a big horror fan conference? I mean, that's just really awesome, and I think that would make a great gift. So don't forget, I've got a video on this guy, a video on this guy, and I have a video on this beautiful young lady here. Now, if you think I did a good job with some Christmas ideas, or if you think there's something that I missed or something that you want to add, put it down below in the comments. I'd really like to know. Maybe you'll list something that I think I should buy for myself. And for sticking around to the end of the video, you, my friend, are a superstar. That is what you are. And until next time, stay spooky, my friends.